All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the recap. Michael D'Angelo, joined as always by my partner in crime, Mr. Big D, Daryl Ortiz. And it always feels like we're on the road to something, and we're on the
Yeah.
road to Saturday night's main event and Evolution
Yeah.
coming up next weekend, Big D, already.
Yeah. We're on the road to crap. We have two big events and we haven't built any of them.
That we have built no hype for, and it's fast and furious. Like this week,
Yeah.
you could tell Raw and SmackDown were really just they're focused in mainly on we've got to fill all these cards out very very quickly, and for me, it just felt really lacking in star power and enjoyability. SmackDown is back at 2 hours, which
That's
you and I
enjoyable.
both are
Yeah.
enjoyable because the 3 hour show always felt like they were just stretching and stretching and stretching for filler.
Yeah.
So I like the nice, condensed, clean 2 hour shows. I'm a big fan of.
I am too. I like that. I liked when they moved Raw to 2 hours, and then
Mhm.
I get that they had to pick another show to move to 3. I get
Yeah.
that, but yeah, it wasn't helping SmackDown. Like I feel like the 3 hours is too much time. And I'm just glad we don't have to deal with 3 hour shows right now. I mean, leave it for
Yeah.
the PLEs. You know that's the whole point of a PLE is it's going to be a longer spectacle, which I enjoy. So, but yeah, not much really happened on Raw or SmackDown. So we'll just dive in. I guess
Yeah.
we had again on the road to oh crap, we have Evolution this weekend. Next weekend Io Sky was in the ring really just to challenge Rhea Ripley because she wants to. So I
Yeah,
guess that's
because it's like Io's the champion, just calling out Rhea Ripley. Like it was. This is kind of an odd thing of because they did this on SmackDown too,
yeah,
where it was
Tiffany.
the women's brand champion is going to come out and call out whoever her opponent is and gift them with a title shot. Is what the theme became,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, this is a very abbreviated way. No number one contenders, no qualifiers, just anybody that the
Well,
champion randomly picks.
I can understand it because if you think about it, they have so many top contenders, but they're already facing off for other stuff. So like you have Bailey and Lyra and Becky all tied in with the women's intercontinental title. You have the women's tag division getting built up still. So you have a few things going on, right? So I get it. Charlotte's and again, I think that's probably why, because Charlotte's not in the singles run right now. She's now doing the tag team thing, which we'll touch on when we talk about SmackDown.
Yeah.
No, it's Raw, sorry. But I still feel that there should have been some kind of tournament, battle royale, something. But I get it. They're trying to empower and let empower the champions to be able to select, because it's a big deal PLE, right? It's an all women's PLE, so they're gonna fill it up. I've seen teases as to who's gonna be there. I have a feeling for sure we're gonna see Nikki Bella, maybe possibly Brie. I don't know if she's still wrestling anymore. But I saw that what's her name? AJ Lee posted a little tweet at hello friend, and it was her ring chucks, the knee high chucks that she wears for the ring. So
Yeah.
that's a little tease. Hopefully she might make an appearance or something. We'll see. But
We'll see.
again, they just didn't want to just randomly throw together, I guess, a number one contenders match like they normally do. So Io versus Rhea accepted.
Yeah.
We'll
Should
see
be
how
fun.
that goes.
Should be a good
Yeah.
match. I mean, that's the one thing that I will say about that. It's like we've seen Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky a few times now. So it is a little bit of a retread, but they're both great. So the match itself should be entertaining.
Not
Do you
worried about the
think
match.
so? We'll call predictions right now. Do you think Rhea is going to take the title off of Io, or that they're going to be shenanigans here to cause?
No,
Io
Io's gonna retain, and
Okay.
I hope it's clean, but I have a feeling it might not be.
Yeah.
Just because you
I
still have
don't
Raquel
know.
still kind of bitter and stuff. So I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. We might, who knows? But I feel Io should retain still. Io's a good champion. I just feel they haven't really given her too much of a spotlight to show that. I think Io's great. I've always raved about how great Io is, and I'm glad she's champion. I hope she retains that for that show.
I hope so too. We'll see. I think it'll be interesting. I kind of half expect that they're going to have a title change hands, and we'll
I think it's
see.
gonna be the tag titles.
Yeah, tag titles. I think you could possibly see some shenanigans with Tiffany Stratton. And this is where, yeah. So, and here's what I'm almost wondering, because And I'll just throw this out there because since we're talking about Evolution, the lead up to it. So on SmackDown, Tiffany called her shot and brought back Trish Stratus. And so this is the Goldberg versus Gunther for the women's division, is bringing back Trish Stratus and gifting her a title shot, which I was like, really? Like, why would you gift it to an inactive wrestler? I know she's come back and she's wrestled a couple of matches, but Trish is basically retired. So you out of nowhere to say, I'm going to give her this because this will be an easy win for me at Evolution is what it kind of felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Tiff didn't put it that way, she just like, Trish is a pioneer and she deserves this. And so they set that match up. And then, of course, Jade Cargill was there talking about like, well, whoever, I don't care who I see, I'm going to win at SummerSlam. And then you had Naomi like attack Jade in a very comical way with the briefcase afterwards, where she just like knocks her down and goes, "You should have proceeded with caution," like in her face, while Jade's looking at her like,
I'm not a fan of that.
It was so silly.
But I get it.
So what happens there? I'm almost wondering, are you going to have like Trish beat Tiffany
and then
become
Naomi
the champion,
cash in?
and then Naomi cash in on Trish and win because they need something big and crazy to happen at Evolution? Maybe. I hope not. But
I mean,
I got a feeling. You never know.
Stranger things have happened.
But one of those titles I feel like is going to change hands. I'm not quite sure yet. I got a week to decide.
Speaking of titles changing hands, we had Finn Balor and JD McDonough beat the New Day for the tag titles. I didn't think that was going to happen.
This seems early. It seems really early to take the titles off of the New Day. But
it was a great match.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the New Day. I mean, let's be honest, this is the New Day. And of course, Finn Balor, McDonough. For those that don't know, Finn Balor trained McDonough, which is why they look so great together in the ring. Yeah, they know each other so well. They literally do. Finn Balor's been training JD McDonough since he was small, a wee lad, as he likes to say. But
in Ireland,
it was, it was cool to see. I'm glad. I like to see it. They had the celebration in the back of, all gold for Judgment Day.
Yeah, everybody's got a title.
Except so again, that's going to kind of further divide the Judgment Day again with Liv being out. So we'll see how that goes. But it was a good match. I really liked it. It was fun. It was
a good match. I'm just bummed that it's like this is a really short title reign with like hardly any title defenses for the New. They only defended twice.
Yeah,
they lost once. They only defended it, I think, one time.
Yeah,
and then they ended up losing their second title match. So that's a little bit of a bummer because it feels like they just kind of once the New Day became champions, they didn't really know what to do with them, and that's that. But JD and Finn, congratulations.
Yep. And my match of the night after that was Rusev versus Sheamus, which was everything you wanted it to be. Two big men just beating the hell out of each other for quite some time. And it was really good. So you had a lot going on. You had, Sheamus hitting hitting all the hits, his greatest hits, the 10 beats of the batter run, the white noise. He hit a brogue kick, but Rusev still kicked out. Rusev did the accolades. Sheamus powered out. Like, it was just all kinds of back and forths. I really didn't know who was going to win yet. Of course, Rusev did the exposed turnbuckle deal and hit him there and was able to do the Machka kick for the victory. I think that was fine because it's going to lead to a bigger feud match between them. I don't think this is the end of their feud by any means. Sheamus loves to fight, and he's going to probably stay like, you had to cheat to beat me. But see, this one's going to be good because they were former buddies. There's more story behind it. I was a fan of it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good stuff. It's all stuff. It was definitely probably the best match of the night. I would say and this night was pretty light on, like,
it was
great wrestling. The tag match was good. This one was really good. Everything else was like, meh. And I agree. I think the continuation of this is you'll see it build to like some sort of a street fight. There's gonna be some sort of gimmick match that'll end up happening between them, whether it be a street fight or 2 out of 3 falls or something that they'll end up doing. But I think it sets the table. It's all entertaining stuff. It gives them something to do later on.
I agree. After that, we had I forget who came out because everyone came out eventually. We ended up with a CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Gunther, and LA Knight brawl. Yeah. Just all hell broke loose. And it just, that's just furthering that along. I don't know why Gunther. I forget why Gunther.
Well, and Gunther was out basically just to talk up the Saturday Night Main Event.
With that's
Goldberg,
right. It was
who wasn't there, and Goldberg wasn't there.
No.
He just kind of came out there and talked about how he was going to take his time to embarrass him. And then you had Rollins that came out to interrupt him. And then it was basically like, I'm coming for both titles, blah, blah, blah. No one's
Yeah.
safe. And then CM Punk ran down. I didn't like the fact that CM Punk like shoved Gunther down and kind of just like punked him out. And I was like, can you guys stop doing that to Gunther? Like Gunther should wreck CM Punk too. But he kind of shoved him down to make him look bad. And then Rollins got ambushed on the retreat by LA Knight, which they set up for Saturday night's main event, talking about like checkboxing as fast as they can. It's going to be Seth Rollins versus
and that's why
LA Knight.
It did a disservice to Gunther's promo, because I know Gunther had some great one-liners, and they're saying that the match is going to last longer than 3 minutes, and like things like that.
Well, yeah, so, and it was like brilliant stuff that at the end they made Gunther look weak.
Exactly, all like, that just to like shove him off to the side so they can showcase CM Punk and Seth Rollins fighting, and LA Knight just kind of jumped in. But one thing I didn't like, I feel was the blunder of the night, was the Bayley and Lyra Valkyria match ending in a double pin. A double freaking pin. That is the...
I wrote dumb ending. As soon as I did it, I was like, dumb ending. Dumb ending. Like the biggest cop out of, we don't want either one of them to lose. We want both of them to win. How do we do that?
You know what you do? I'd rather have a double count out, because they're beating the hell out of each other outside of the ring. And they just lose track of time.
And marginally, like because I feel like it's like, have a clear-cut winner. It's a number one contenders match.
No, because they're building for a triple threat match against Becky Lynch at Evolution. I guarantee it. That's what's going to happen. But yeah, I get it that they have to build to it, but the double pin was just not a solid move. I wasn't a fan of it. I would have much rather have done, like I said, they brawled outside and then just lose track of time, and it's a double count out. So then they can be like, okay, well, now what do we do? And then a triple threat, which is what's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Anywho, we had Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed after that against Sami Zayn and Penta, which I was looking
for. Main event.
That was the main event, and I was looking forward to it because, of course, I love Penta. Mm-hmm. But this was all just to set up the ending, which was Penta getting beat by Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and Jey Uso coming out for the save for Sami as well. Really, that's what it came down to, because, again, this match was pretty much over. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker won, and then they continued the beatdown just to kind of finish him off, and then Jey Uso comes out for the save.
Yeah, and even before this, like you knew what was going to happen, because you had Karrion Kross attack Sami Zayn with a metal pipe backstage and like beat him up and like hit him in the ribs, and he's like, oh, and they're like, Sami Zayn has been cleared. I'm like, who cleared Sami?
He got like 3 broken ribs. Did you clear him?
He got beaten with a pipe. He's like laying there like, and then like wrapping him. And he's like, holding his sides. And they're like, Sami Zayn did get cleared. I'm like, okay. Apparently, whoever the doctor was had bet on the Bronze to win. And he's like, based off of my medical opinion, you're good to go. So it was already built in that Sammy's ribs were a factor, and so of course Braun spears him in his destroyed ribs, and so it was again done to help people save face. It's like, well, Sami hadn't been attacked with a pipe, and that's just what really caused. It's like just let the Bronze win. Let the Bronze win clean.
Give him a dominant win, And I get it. It sucks because it'll be at the expense of Penta and Sami, but let them put up a good fight. There's a way.
Somebody's got to lose.
There's a way
make it
to have
cheap every time.
Yeah, there's a way to have both of them look good in defeat. We've seen it plenty of times. And
I've seen so many times where people get like the gingerly attacked backstage, and they're like, they haven't been cleared to wrestle, and it's like, oh, they can't go out. And it's like, well, that person just kind of got thrown into like a case, and they're fine, and they stand up and they look like they're okay, and it's like the doctors haven't cleared them. But Karrion Kross looks like he had murdered Sami, and then,
he hit him with that pipe.
He was like the whole time, and also Sammy's like selling it like later on when they're taping his ribs up, and he's like, like holding himself, and it's like, and you're gonna tell me that a doctor said he's good? I don't know about all that, but this, to your point, this was all just set up for Jey to come down for the save, and I'm sure there's going to be a triple threat of some kind.
Yeah.
That's coming. Maybe Karrion Kross will join the Bronze. I don't know. We'll see. They're going to have to come up with some triple threat. And they may shoehorn this into Saturday night's main event as well. But
they may save it for SummerSlam. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
But that would be long-term storytelling for SummerSlam, so it might just be Saturday night main event.
Long-term, whole month.
Hey, that's too long. 2-week build, man. 2-week build. But that was Raw in a nutshell, because not that much really went down. Not a whole lot of wrestling, just a lot of talking, which is fine. We're trying to build up two big shows, in one weekend.
in one
I'm excited
weekend.
for Evolution to come back. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I enjoy these shows. I'm very happy that they're bringing it back because there's a lot of fantastic female talent out there, and
There
I
is.
love the fact that they're showcasing it. And I like that they're combining all three bands. They're gonna do Raw, SmackDown, and
And
NXT, which I'm excited for. Which I feel they should throw in AAA too, because there's a lot of female luchadoras that are gonna do awesome as well. But
Well, and I agree, and I think that the women should have their time to be showcased, but give them their own weekend, WWE. Like,
yeah,
do you
they
have
got
to do it
split
on
it
the
with
same
Goldberg
weekend and
in
split the
Atlanta.
days? Come on. It's like, just give them their own day, please. But yeah, SmackDown was again the Fast and Furious sprint. It opened with Jacob Fatu attacking the Bloodline 2.1 or whatever we're calling them now in the parking lot. And then you
I
had
was
Cody.
wondering, I was like, yeah, they pulled up in a raggedy car for being the Bloodline. I'm like,
I
that's
know.
why,
I
because
was
they're
like,
going to destroy it.
yeah, I was like, this is the prop car for them to destroy
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And then you had Cody come out and basically just, he's king of the ring. And at SummerSlam, he's facing John Cena. And then you had Randy Orton came down and said, don't squander the opportunity and you need to win. And then surprise, Drew McIntyre's back and came down and ran them down on a mic before getting hit with an RKO. And just like that, Saturday night's main event, Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Talk about zero build.
I think that, no, there is a build. They looked at each other and he RKO'd him. That's it.
They really took this whole, we've got to book this card out fast. Let's just have stuff happen. So stuff happened. That's what happened, Big Dito. But I will say this, I am looking forward to Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton because that should be fun. And I love me some Drew McIntyre. I don't think he gets utilized enough. No. I wish he was in the main event scene more. I wish he was competing for world titles more versus going out and making mistakes and losing. But this will be nice to see him showcased on Saturday night's main event.
I agree. I completely agree. And it's just more again to build Saturday. It's really just because that's around the corner and they got to fill that show. Not a long show, but they still got to fill it.
Not a long show, but they got to fill it. And then you had, after this, the first match was Alexa Bliss and Charlotte as a tag team against the Secret Hervis, against Michin and B-Fab. This was for the women's tag title #1 contender, right? Because they kept saying for a chance to be the #1 contender. And I'm like,
right.
Is there a tournament?
Because there's at Evolution, you're going to have a fatal 4-way tag team match. So they're going to be one of the 4 tag teams.
Of the tag teams. So they did end up winning and advancing, which for me is silly that the improvised team of Alexa and Charlotte beat an actual team, which I'll call the Secret Hervis an actual tag team. They've been as a stable. And then Michin and B-Fab is just kind of like, hey,
they kind of been tagging together a little bit.
And we're kind of tagging.
But can we just give appreciation there? B-Fab's gotten way better in the ring.
Yeah, she's gotten way better.
I think Michin's been working with her. Somebody's been working with her because she's getting way better, way cleaner. From her very first time you see her wrestling against Charlotte, right? That was a little bit sloppy. To now, it's actually a great improvement. So I'm very happy to see. I like seeing growth within the talent, and I think that's awesome. So props to her for that.
Props to her, but I was a little like, I get why they're putting them forward, but just having them win.
Yeah, we knew Alexa and Charlotte were going to win. I mean, it was just
It's like, and I hate it when they do that. They put 2 stars together and have them beat like established teams. I'm like, then that means the teams just aren't that good.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had, so SmackDown, I will say this, has a way better tag division and down than Raw. And this is what kind of, for me, makes it a little frustrating. So the Wyatt Six versus a combined group of the other tag teams.
Yeah.
So it was the Wyatt Six. There's an 8-man tag versus Berto. You had Montez Ford, and then you had Johnny Gargano, and then you had Chris Sabin. So it's like one from each of them. And then the combined might couldn't do it. Eric Rowan hit the Iron Claw Slam on Sabin. He took the loss for the group. Wyatt Six won. It was a fun match, but I'm also like, that for me kind of says, well, now you've made the Wyatt Six completely unbeatable. If like you handpick the best guys from all the other tag teams versus this one faction and then they lost.
No, this is all this means. Next week, the other halves of the tag teams are going to face the Wyatt Six.
Oh no, next week isn't there the Wyatt Six have a title match?
Oh, that's right, they do.
They've got the title match against the Street Profits. So that's where I'm like, are they going to come down and interfere again? Like, are the other people going to come down and it's going to turn into a brouhaha and in DQ, which will be silly. I hope they don't do that again.
They need to give the Wyatt Six the tag titles. We've been saying this for weeks, and I think they just need to bite the bullet and do it
and just have fun with it. But I don't know. But
this was a step in that direction.
They've got too many. I'm going to say they have too many good tag teams on SmackDown.
It's hard.
Like they should really shift some of them over to Raw.
We need a
because
draft. That's
it's
coming soon.
an embarrassment of riches on SmackDown, and Raw's like, it's just an embarrassment on Raw. Just kidding.
Yeah.
JD and Finn are great. Everybody, the New Day's great. They've just been around for a long time. Everybody else is pretty okay. So this is, and then they have more tag teams, because I will just throw this out there. You had Andrade and Ray Phoenix versus Fraxium later, which for me was match of the night. It was really great, but I'm like, do you really need Ray Phoenix and Andrade as a tag team with all the other tag teams that you have on SmackDown?
Which
like,
they worked amazingly
and
together
they were
too.
Great. They were really good. And this is where I'm like looking at it going, wow, like the tag division on SmackDown is just top to bottom. I can't think of a team that sucks. I really can't. Pretty
even their
Deadly
comedy
is still good.
Yeah, I would say even their comedy team, Pretty Deadly, like, they're still awesome. Like I've always been a fan of Pretty Deadly. I think they're awesome. I love it. It's just giving like Gold Dust vibes, kind of, you know.
Yeah. But they've got to really mix up the tag divisions now.
Yeah.
They need to.
They need to share the wealth.
Over, because it's way too many, to where I feel a little bit bad for Rey Fenix and Andrade. Are like, you're this new established team, and you're trying to kind of get going, but
you give Fraxium their first
and
defeat.
They did win. They beat Fraxium. And I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Again, unestablished teams, and yes, I think they tied together one other time, but they're not an established team versus Fraxium that's like a real established team, and they won clean. So that was a little bit of a bummer for Fraxium, who's again another great team. But I had to jump in there. And
I agree. And don't get me wrong, I love some Lucha Libre. So like watching Rey Fenix and Andrade, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, credit to Axiom too, because he hit a Spanish Fly, and then the timing of it, hit the Spanish Fly on Andrade, and then Frazier hits the Phoenix Splash.
Phoenix Splash, yeah.
I thought that was cool. Great. And of course, Rey Fenix to break up the pin. But again, it's just crazy to see how stacked the tag division is. Like, to your point, like it's almost sad for Raw, because you have so many.
The contrast is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's wild stuff. Before this, all that stuff went down with Tiffany Stratton.
We talked about that already.
We talked about that. I just wanted to make sure we covered that. So we had mentioned that. And then our main event, which was another tag match.
Yeah.
Just like on Raw, Solo and you had Solo Sikoa and JC.
Jeff Cobb.
JC Mateo.
I'm protesting it.
Versus Jacob Fatu and Jimmy. And then this one was, again, just like, you knew it was going to devolve into the bloodline coming down and attacking everybody, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So you got, is it Talo Tongo and Tonga Loa? Is it?
Is that what they're calling him now?
I think it's Tala.
Yeah, Tala Tonga. Oh, God. The taller Tonga. Yeah. Tala Tama Tonga Loa. Jesus. Who's doing the names? I can't. Yeah.
Through the announce table with Jacob and stood tall. It was fine. It was just like, I don't know that I really wanted to see this as my main event. And I don't know that we just need to see the new bloodline beating down the second version of the bloodline. It was fine. It was just like,
I mean, we knew it was coming.
A little mediocre.
Well, because we knew it was coming from the beginning when Jacob, broke him up, beat him up. I mean, but okay, here's what I don't get: where the hell was Jimmy? Last week. Because he comes out, he's like, "Oh, I see you need." He just popped out like, "I see you need a tag partner." I'd have been like, "Where the hell have you been?"
I was like, "Hey, that's great, but can you explain something to me?" Instead, he's just like, "Yeah, man, we're good." Like, it was like no, like they're best pals too. Not like there's this apprehension, like, I don't know if I trust you. Well, you know what?
He should not trust him because he didn't show up.
He didn't help him. It was like, all right,
they didn't make the call. We need Zilla in there to help out Jacob. I've always been saying Zilla needs to come out.
I think they're going to have to get to that point, right?
Yeah,
they got to.
I hope so.
Bring somebody else in. I would think so,
unless Roman returns.
Well,
but he's making Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, yeah.
He's a Kuma
Street Fighter, so we'll see. I don't know how
him and 50 Cent
Kuma though. Yeah, him and 50 Cent and Cody Rhodes.
50 Cent as Balrog would be cool. Yeah, Cody as Guile. That would be hilarious.
Well, I think he is, right? He got signed as Guile.
No, let me see.
I heard.
We're gonna take a hard left here, folks. Give me 1 second here.
I want to say Cody Rhodes
is important.
Has been confirmed, and he's going to play Guile.
Wow, I think you're right. Let me see.
Yeah, and that's how I was like, I heard that this week, and I was like, really? Cody's going to be Guile? Is he going to do the flash kick? That's all I gotta know.
Hang on, alongside Roman Reigns. Okay.
Sonic.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes is in talks to play Guile.
Talks. Okay.
So who else do they? Let me see.
That guy from the Suicide Squad who played Polka Dot Man is supposed to play M. Bison.
I think that's what I saw. Let me.
Which I always remember him as like one of the cronies from The Dark Knight, or he was one of the Joker's cronies for like 2 minutes in the. He's the one that Harvey Dent kidnaps.
So like, okay, so I know this isn't wrestling content, but I love Street Fighter. I grew up on Street Fighter. Where I'm a little bit of a comic book nerd. So, anyways, I'm a gaming nerd too. But anyways,
Street Fighter 2 Special Champions Edition.
Hell yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That was my jam. I still have it. Andrew Koji, the guy from Warrior, is gonna play Ryu, which is a great fit. I love that. That's awesome. Kalina Liang is going to play Chun-Li. She was on Presence.
Isn't Andrew Schultz playing Dan?
Let me see here. Noah Centineo is playing Ken. Jason Momoa as Blanca. I'm actually pretty stoked for that one.
That should be cool.
50 Cent as Balrog, which is awesome. I know people are saying Mike Tyson, but I'm like, no, like this makes more.
This makes more sense with his age.
Cody Rhodes is Guile, still in talks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. David.
Andrew Schultz is like a comedian. Andrew Schultz doesn't have any real martial arts background, does he?
He is. Andrew Schultz is going to be playing Dan.
What? Yeah, and I'm thinking, I thought you had to have, like, I get that Dan's kind of a goofball character, but shouldn't you have some sort of martial arts prowess to be able to do this?
Well, they're saying their justification is that Dan is a joke within the Street Fighter universe itself, and Schultz has the comic timing to make it land.
He can still fight, though.
Yeah.
Dan still has martial arts ability.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they could teach him just enough.
Maybe.
Orville Peck is going to play Vega. That's the masked country singer guy. Roman Reigns is Akuma. He better get big. He's going to be on the Rock's supplement routine to get that big.
Well, and
that's all we have so far.
And M. Bison wasn't confirmed already?
Not yet. Let me go back. Oh yeah, I did. I told you it was. The guy that plays Polka Dot Man, David. David Dastmalchian is going to play M. Bison. Yeah, he was in Suicide Squad, Dune, Ant-Man, Dark Knight, Flash. Yeah, and also One Piece.
I don't know how I feel him as like M. Bison. I felt like should be more imposing and fearsome.
Yeah, and I get when what's his name Raul Julia played him.
Raul Julia was awesome.
He did great, but he was also sick. Great. Like he was legit. He was dying playing M. Bison because he wanted to make something his kids can remember him in. Yeah. Aside from Adams Family, Gomez Adams forever. But
but I was like that dude was like played the heck out of that role. Like, knowing that was like. He did it for his kids, and it was like one of his last roles that he had. And for a movie that was stupid, like that movie was nonsense. It was so dumb.
I still watch it. I'm not going to lie.
I still do too. I like a lot of dumb movies.
I still watch Mortal Kombat. What are you talking about? And Annihilation.
Con Air. Every time Con Air is on TNT, I watch it.
And Face Off?
And Face Off. Nicolas Cage has made some terrible movies that I always watch. The Rock, I would totally watch.
I'll watch
every time it's on. I've seen The Rock probably 100 times, and it's really stupid. But Street Fighter was nonsense. But his role is very memorable from that. And the day that M. Bison came to your village was the most important day of your life. To me, it was just a Tuesday. Like the stuff, like just total gangster stuff from Raul Julia. So R.I.P. Even after all these years, he's got some big shoes to fill if you're going to play M. Bison. But anyways, that's it for the recap today. We took a little segue into Hollywood there, but hey, you know what? It's all interconnected.
Hey, if you like that, let us know because I could talk about that stuff all day.
Yeah, we can always throw that in there. We're happy to talk about movies too, so it all works out. But on the road to Evolution and Saturday Night's Main Event, we'll see. I'm still picking it. Goldberg ends up squashing Gunther.
God
takes the title. Hopefully not, but we'll see. I hope not, but got that funny feeling. We'll find out. But until next week, we'll be back to recap all of that. I've been Michael D'Angelo. He's been Big D Daryl Ortiz. Have a great week, everyone.